So what is my beef with the 5.7? Let me show you. Like I said before, I'm always going to use the 5.7. Why wouldn't I? It's ridiculous for a $500 pistol. We can talk about how it can one-tap headshot and all that stuff from different ranges. But my biggest beef with this gun is what I call the spray pattern. Thinking, how can a pistol have a spray pattern? I'll show you. The first shot is pretty damn accurate. Fairly. We know that you can come around a corner and one-tap a guy from here to the doors, no problem, in the head. But that's not the problem. This gun, why I say it has a spray pattern, if you start tapping as fast as you can, it tops out pretty quickly and kind of just stays there. I'll show you here. So that's a bit above their head, but it's a pretty good clump. So if their head was like right here, I would come out, try and hit his head, and if I missed the first couple shots, I would just pull down there. I don't even have to pull down more than that. I just pull down a little bit and then just keep shooting. And I'm hitting the head. So when if I, throw a flashbang in here and I come out and there's 3 guys here, I can just come out shooting for heads and pull down slightly and keep spraying, and I'm going to be at head level for every shot basically. Like if a guy was here, I could come out, I can miss. All those are head level. From this distance, they're all one-shot kills. I come in here. See that? It's like a fucking straight line across. Imagine there's 4 guys in here. All these bullets are landing very close to the head. And, I know what you're thinking. Well, don't all the guns do that? No, they don't. That's the thing. But from like this distance, from like, this is probably a one-shot headshot with the Tech 9. If I were to spray, pretty wild. Goes all the way up to there, and some of these shots are landing all the way down here. There's a huge margin of error here. Do it again. That's a pretty big margin of error, and rightfully so. It's still kind of ridiculous how you can run and be fairly accurate. Like the bullets basically land exactly where you shoot. I know you're thinking, the 5.7 is a pretty good gun. Tech 9's even better. Some people still, would prefer to pick up a Tech 9. I think that's fundamentally wrong, and I'll show you why. Watch the spray pattern. It goes up and immediately tops out and goes a little bit to the side, but not much compared to the Tech 9. So literally, if a guy's head was here and I came around a corner, I'd try and shoot him in the head for the one-shot kill, which is fucking from like here almost, which is pretty far. If I missed, I would just keep spraying a pistol, and drag down a little bit. So let's see if that's his head. All those are landing on his head. So one more time, if I come around the corner, say that's his head right here, I come around the corner, I missed the first shot. Almost all those are landing in a pretty tight pocket. You literally just have to pull down like the width of this paper, the length of this paper rather. That's his head. All those bullets are basically landing pretty damn close to the head. And I can do that while moving. Spraying, and they're all landing at that exact level I want it to be. To put this in comparison, the USP, which is probably the most accurate pistol in the game, at least for the first shot, I could be wrong. I'm not wrong. If you were to fully unload this thing, which most good players wouldn't just spam this thing, it's nowhere near as tight a pocket as the 5.7. So even with this thing, when I'm shooting as fast as I can, bullets are landing here, 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 here. Try this one time from like a good range. So bullets are landing here to here at like when you're spraying the pistol. Okay, let's take a look. What the fuck? Let's take a look at the damage of this gun and why I think it's also ridiculous. Let's just take we could take the M4 here. We could argue all day on why it should or should not have a one-shot headshot potential. But let's just talk about to the chest then. We'll go right on this, right here, right on the shadow line here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets. About the same distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, maybe that was just... Okay, well, let's try from there. Just a pistol into Kevlar shouldn't be able to kill faster than a rifle. Let's try here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'll get a bit closer, make it fair. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5? Okay. No way a pistol can just 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, yeah, it can. And of course, there's the elephant in the room, which is this. But gameplay balances aside, I understand why that's in the game. I understand why the M4 should not be a one-shot headshot and the AK-47 should have an advantage. I understand that. It's a video game, a competitive video game. So what's the problem with this having a one-shot headshot, you say? Well, like I said, all I have to do is drag down a bit and I have a laser beam. How is that fair in an eco situation? Also, it should be noted. My biggest problem with this gun, I don't even know where to start. I think it's not that it can one-shot headshot. Okay, that is a problem. So my biggest problem with this gun is that the one-shot headshot is understandable, I guess, but it's got a fairly long range, like longer than the AUG, for instance. A lot of people don't even know the AUG can do a one-shot headshot because it's like 30 units or something. That, I don't even know what it is. It's very short. It's a one-shot headshot, but you can run around corners while shooting it. The Tech 9's guilty of this as well, but the Tech 9 is a bit more RNG, and I'm not saying RNG is a good thing. It's not. We get a lot of people crying about getting, drive-bys with the Tech 9, but the problem with this one is it's so much more accurate, and like I showed you in the footage before, you can just kind of pull down a bit, and then all the shots are going to be roughly headshot level, and you can just kind of wide peek people, and if you have it headshot level, you can have a huge advantage because if you had an AK and you knew where a guy was, you've got to peek that corner, stop, and then shoot. If you tag him, you might, especially his eco, he's probably done. But if he's got body armor and a 5.7, it's not that unbalanced of a fight. And a lot of the times when you're the peeker with the 5.7, you sometimes have an advantage. When you just run out of that corner, wide peek it, fly out, and just start spraying. Wide peek them, start spraying that gun at head level. You can catch them off guard, especially with an AK. I know what everyone says. It's an eco round. You're supposed to play a weird angle and stuff like that. But you can do that and still not have a gun that can just do stuff like this.
One ramp. Tetris, yeah. Nice job. Last guy was B.
5.7's not broken at all. The biggest problem is not just that the one-shot headshot potential and the running and gunning it encourages, is that the damage it does. Yes, it has a damage fall off from, far enough range, but if you saw in the last clip, I only had to hit that guy 4 times. I think. He might have been already hit once, so I'm not sure. But this is the second kill in that clip we showed. I just got to basically just get the cursor on him, pull down a little bit, and just spray. 4 of those bullets are going to land. Why is that a problem? The M4 takes 5 bullets in that range. I think the 5.7 does as well at that range, but the gun does the same output as the AK-47 from like mid-range and better. It shouldn't hit as hard as an AK. The P250 hits pretty damn hard too, probably harder, but this thing hits harder than the Tech 9 and the AK. From up close, this gun does more damage to the chest than the AK-47. I just don't understand how a $500 gun should be able to do that. And then we talk about all the other things about how easy it is to control this gun when you run a corner and just start spraying at the head. And when you just pull down a little bit and it's a fucking laser beam, fucking level light, just going fucking ripping things heads off. So I got a problem with it. And I'm not going to stop using it because that would be retarded. I complained about the CZ and this exact same thing. Like it was way overpowered. But you'd be a fool not to use it. So in short, the gun is kind of broken, even at a professional level. You see a lot of people just destroying people with 5.7s. Tech 9s is another one that people complain about, but I think the 5.7 is even more kind of exploitable and ridiculous for $500. So I think it needs to go into the trash. Yeah, close enough. Actually, I kind of want it back. It's too good to throw away. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.